High-grade Murasame Kai.
The high-grade Murasame Kai is my second ever Seed Freedom kit. My first one, if you're wondering, is the Gyan Strom. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, it's fucking German. And also, I haven't bought any of the Seed Freedom kits. The only ones that I might buy is the Zagok, the Dual Blitz, and maybe the Black Knight Squad Shiva. But other than that, yeah, that's all for me. And I do technically have two more Seed Freedom kits, but those are bootlegs. And don't get me wrong, those are pretty damn good bootlegs. But the legality and all that, I don't know if it counts. But other than that, let me talk about the design a bit more. When I saw the Murasame Kai's design for the first time, I thought, wow, it's the Zeta Gundam equivalent of Seed! And technically I'm not wrong, but it's more akin to the Zeta Plus of Seed, because you know, mass produced. But even so, I still like the design because the MA mode for this guy does not look like ass, because what the fuck is that? That shit should not count as an MA mode. Now, stickers in the high-grade Seed Freedom kits are pretty infamous for being abundant and relatively large. And for this kit, it's actually not that bad. But I do have to admit that the big ass stickers that fills out this part on the wing binders is a little bit too cheap, which this guy isn't. And you guys know that I didn't use some of the stickers because in the case of these stickers, they don't really look good. I'm aware that this is probably only for the MA mode, but still they don't look good. And since these are supposed to go on the wing tips, I'm not doing that shit. That shit's gonna unfold like 30 minutes after I finish building it. So screw that shit. But however, in the case of these stickers, I generally just don't know where to put them. Seriously, I've carefully read the manual multiple times already, and none of the graphics show where to put these stickers on. So, it sucks to suck, I guess. However, despite how much I love this guy, this kit has a couple of issues. The first problem with this kit, it can't stand up straight properly. But to be fair, that's not exactly this kit's fault. That's just how physics works, because of the huge ass wings on the backpack. While you can remove the missiles to lessen the load, it'll still fall over anyway, so that's life. The second problem with this kit, which is more substantial, is that every connection is way too tight. What I mean is that the shoulders, the elbows, the knees, the feet, fuck, even the beam sabers are way too tight. So I loosened them up by sanding them down or used dish soap. And while I was in the process of sanding them down, I broke a piece. Yeah, this is technically my fault, but it does show how extremely tight these connections are, so I do recommend sanding them down. Now, I've dilly-dallied long enough about the kit itself, so I'm going to talk about the accessories. Now, the first accessory that we're going to talk about is technically the missiles, even though they are a crucial part of the build. But they are detachable and technically optional for the kit, so yeah, I'm considering these as accessories. Our next accessory is the shield. I mean, come on, it's a Zeta lookalike. Of course it's gonna come with a shield that looks like a nose cone that barely does anything. Now, there are two ways to slot the shield, but however, it won't exactly fit on the arm. But however, the connection piece on the shield is actually ball jointed. And these flaps can move, but this is for the MA mode. We're gonna talk about that later. So now you can just slide it out like this, or like this. Yay! The next accessory that I'm gonna talk about is the beam rifle. Now, this beam rifle has the usual shtick where there's a secondary grip on the side, so you can do a double-handed pose, which I won't do because it's a pain in the ass to do. The other things that this beam rifle can do is to hide the handle, which is for later. And it can also be stored on the side skirts. And this kit's final accessories is stored on the side skirts the entire time. The beam sabers. You know how it is, beam saber effect part, plug it in, and boom, beam saber proper. Now, I do have to say that the connection for the side skirt and the beam saber can loosen over time, and again, this is not exactly the kit's fault, that's just how friction works. So again, that's life. Now the Seed Freedom kits have the Seed action system to show how posable their kits are, and it got carried over to the future Seed kits, which is pretty cool. So let's test out an early rendition of the Seed action system. The posability on this kit is really good, but to be fair, that's pretty much expected from a kit from the 2020s. And while I do admit that this kit is more articulate than any of my other high grades from the 2020s, it still leaves a little bit to be desired, because not gonna lie, I wish the arms could go up higher. And also I do wish that this kit has movable hips too. And while I do admit that I usually don't really like movable hips, but considering that the Mighty Strike Freedom does have movable hips and they're actually well put together, I do wish that the Murasame Kai also has this feature. But to be fair, I got the bootleg, so I don't know if the official kit actually has it or if it's more fiddly in the official kit, so take it with a heavy amount of salt. Let's immediately jump to the transformation because my phone is about to die. Here it is, the MA mode, and god damn, this looks so good. And unlike these two fucking shitheads, this one actually looks convincing. For some reason, parts forming in this specific kit feels more fun than any other transferable high grades that I have in my collection. I guess it's because this kit does include duplicates of specific parts that are only for the MA mode. For example, here, here, and here, which is pretty neat, not gonna lie. I wish more kits do that. But anyways, let me just convert this back to the MS mode and give my final thoughts. So, do I recommend this kit? Absolutely, go buy it, especially if you're a fan of Seed or transformable mobile suits in general. Not only is it because it's the only good looking transformable mobile suit in Seed Freedom, it's also a good design in general. While the joints being way too tight is definitely an issue, it's easily fixable with just sanding them down or using dish soap, so you'll be fine. Anyways, that's all from me. See you in 2 weeks probably.